Hey, good morning. Welcome to Life Online. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. Weekend's coming, although these days blur into one another. So we're in the middle of coronavirus. I don't know if it goes to the extent of the Great Depression, that you will find stock market crash 1929 and then the 1930s and even the early 40s. Very, very difficult time. I think this photograph of the mother with her two children is probably the most famous photos that emerges out of the Great Depression. But it was a difficult time for all, and you will find long unemployment lines and long lines just to get food. In the middle of all of that, there is a young entrepreneur who is living in Texas, grew up in New Mexico. He's got 8 hotels, but when the Great Depression hits, he loses a few of them. And in fact, he is just on the very edge of bankruptcy. He borrows food from a bellhop just to have something to eat for him and for his family. And yet it's during that time in 1931 that he ends up grabbing onto a dream. And somehow he said, I will bounce back from that. And his dream was to own the Waldorf Astoria, the monument, this grand hotel, a monument to opulence in New York City. And he dreamed about that. Now, the words of his mother were really strongly inside of him. She was a little Catholic lady that continued to speak to her boy, Conrad Hilton. Yes, Hilton, that's a familiar name. And it was his mother. In fact, he says in his autobiography, my mother had one answer for everything. Her answer was prayer. In fact, these are the words that he records. Go and pray, Connie. Take all your problems to him. He has answers when we don't. And by the way, what incredible advice was that? And then it was in Conrad Hilton, needless to say, that he ended up having an incredible comeback and yes, launched the Hilton Corporation and that great chain of hotels. And by the way, in his autobiography that I think he wrote in the 1950s, the final chapter was entitled Pray Consistently and Confidently. And this is these are his words. In the circle of successful living, prayer is the hub that holds the wheel together. Note what he says in this first sentence, successful living. He doesn't just say success or wealth or all those kinds of things. It's not the prayer that becomes the motivating force for you to accumulate wealth and live the life of ease. He's just saying there is a success to life, and prayer is the hub. He goes on and says, without our contact with God, we are nothing. I love that sentence. And then this sentence, with it, we are a little lower than the angels crowned with glory and honor. This is important for us to constantly remember. In fact, if anything, there's a drift that we have away from the leaning into God and just consistent prayer. And I encourage you during this time, do not back away from the place of prayer. In fact, if anything, you run toward it. The words of Jesus ring true. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Jesus never lies, and it's true. We need to run to God in prayer, trusting Him, believing Him for everything. So no matter what you're faced with, whether it's in the pandemic or whether it's in the days to come, the concerns of life, all of these things, we can roll over, cast them at His feet. Every single care that we have, He cares for us. So move to Him and pray. What a great, great place to close the week. God bless you. Have an awesome, awesome day.